Hello, I'm Roger Steare. CHATROG has now been on air for 3 months, looking at the ethical implications of what is the modern day industrial revolution, artificial intelligence. It's already making its way into so many aspects of our lives, and we are part of that small group of people standing in front of the juggernaut asking the big questions about morality that this technology raises. We've had some amazing guests already, and what we're going to do in this episode is look back at all the wonderful guests we've had. Our first guest is Richard Pursey, a leading advocate for online safety, sharing alarming insights into the dangers children face online. He discusses the tragic reality of online harm, where children are often coerced into dangerous situations leading to devastating consequences. This conversation is a stark reminder of the urgent need for awareness and action.
Children around the world are being duped and coerced into performing sexual acts to camera. They think that they're dealing with somebody and talking to, liaising with somebody who is a trusted party, but often, sadly, tragically, they're not. And when a child sends an image or a video of themselves and that then gets distributed elsewhere, they become extorted. And in the United Kingdom alone, 5 children a week take their lives due to online harm. This is no lightweight issue. This is chronic, and that's just the UK.
That's appalling.
Yeah,
appalling. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's utterly horrific. It's off the charts, utterly horrific, and it's global. UNICEF will tell you that there's 750 million children around the world online at any given moment at time, and they're all at risk because they're all naive, they're easy to trick, they're easy to dupe. So sexual extortion, sexual corruption, and so on, it's destroying the planet. And I'm using those words very deliberately because it absolutely is. When you realize that a 7-year-old is coming across hardcore porn, they're not looking for it, it's finding them. A 7-year-old on mum and dad's tablet, it's finding them. What chance have they ever got of growing up to have a mature, balanced, loving relationship? The answer, as far as I'm concerned, is zero. No chance. And that's destroying the fabric of society. This is really deep. This goes beyond just safety. It goes much deeper than that.
Dr. Lollie Mancey is a renowned expert in neuroscience. When she spoke to CHATROG, she delved into the complexities of the human brain, discussing the delicate balance between technological advancements and the need to protect our mental privacy. Here's where Dr. Mancey shares her insights on the future of our species and the ethical considerations we must navigate.
The brain is the last place where we can be free with all of the machinations of the negative and the positive. Nobody wants to see inside each other's brains. Really, we're not as good as we think we're not as good people as we think we are sometimes. And I think if we don't protect that, then as a species, I'm not entirely sure we're going to make it. And I am very worried about that. And being bandied about for, yes, medical technology and medical breakthroughs, absolutely. That's incredible for people. But we have to be incredibly careful. Once the lid is open, it's open.
Next up, we have a thought-provoking segment from our conversation with Graham Lovelace, an editor and publisher at Gen AI. In this episode, Graham delves into the pressing issue of data privacy in the age of smart technology. He shares his concerns about how devices like smart glasses and recording clips are constantly gathering data, often without our full awareness. This discussion highlights the potential risk to our privacy and the implications for our personal lives.
A really worrying thing, Roger, all these companies have got the need to continually find new sources of data, of training data. And the one thing that I worry about is products which have that sense of it's going to help us in our everyday lives, it's going to be useful. So I'm talking around the latest generation of smart glasses, and something that a friend of mine showed me at a conference recently. He's wearing this little silver clip, and This clip was recording everything that was said in the previous conference session. And then he showed me the AI-generated notes that clip, that device, I'm not sure what it's called, had actually produced. And it was pretty good. Now, I asked a question in that session, and it actually said, Graham Lovelace, editor, publisher, Gen AI, charting Gen AI. I hadn't actually said my title or that sort of stuff. So it was embellishing. It was doing what it's meant to do. It was making sense and that sort of stuff. It was it looked a good output. But of course, he could have been wearing that on during the coffee break. He could have been wearing this the rest of his life. And it's generating data, as smart glasses are. They're generating data, and they're going into our private lives. They're recording things, they're seeing things that we may not want to be shared. And we certainly don't want people to see behind the scenes. And that is a real worry, that we're going to start to see identifiable images of our children, our loved ones, the insides of our houses, our passports, our driving licenses, if we've uploaded those to our own photo roll on our phones. It's all going to be used for training data. So there's a massive privacy aspect to this as well, which is often overlooked.
Andreas Maier is a renowned expert in the field of medical imaging and AI. Andreas shared his insights on the complexities of stroke treatment and the critical role of AI in enhancing patient care. Let's dive into a segment where Andreas discusses the importance of rapid response and expert collaboration in stroke units.
They have not just a single diagnosis, but they have a whole patient history. And every patient is very unique and has also very unique needs that have to be met with the treatment, with the diagnosis and so on. And in these cases, I think the AI should provide explanations, but I think that in these cases, because they are rare, they need more time, they also can be something like a second opinion. A system that you ask for, like, I think it's that case, what does the AI say? Or the AI says this case, or they disagree, maybe I ask a second colleague, and I know he's an expert in this field, and let's just consult him as well. And you see that for the complex cases, like for example in stroke, you need to be able to act very, very fast to get the perfusion into the brain again after a stroke. But then again, depending on the area of the brain that is affected, a stroke can have also a multitude of different outcomes. The treatment has to be organized in a very structured way. And you see that the stroke units that have emerged, they already have committees of experts. They have a neuroradiologist, a neurologist, they have a speech therapist. They have all kinds of experts that come together. Obviously, they have to be efficient because there's not so much time for the patient, and there's like many patients coming into a stroke unit. But they liaise anyway with multiple experts. And if they are able to consult an additional AI system that can point in rare cases towards new directions, they can probably use this in a safe and adequate manner.
James Wilson is a seasoned AI ethicist and author of Artificial Negligence. With over 3 decades of experience working with data and technology firms like Capgemini and Gartner, James has advised global organizations on making AI safer and more responsible. His book takes the complex world of AI and makes it understandable, often with a touch of humor, while posing serious questions about ethics, privacy, and what it means to be human in the age of AI.
Yet we see this every day. I mean, it's like every second news story at the moment is Meta or OpenAI or Character.ai or whatever doing something retrospectively after the harm has been done. So they've given the patient the prescription and they've just watched them get ill, and then they've gone, "Oh, that's a bad thing. We'll fix it." So I, in my ideal world, I would love to see a scenario where there was a Hippocratic oath for AI or AI developers, and if you cross that line, you will get barred from working in AI, just like a doctor would get barred from working in medicine. I hope that we can come to some sort of moderation, medium position between where some of that can take effect, but it will require obviously regulation to make that work.
We had the pleasure of speaking with my friend Richard Watson, a visionary thinker exploring the intersection of technology and human behaviour. Richard shared insights on how wearable technology like Meta's glasses could revolutionise our interactions by rewarding positive behaviour. Imagine a world where every smile could earn you a reward, potentially transforming societal norms.
I'm wearing Meta's glasses, harvesting data from the entire world. They can see my interaction with other human beings. Now, what if I got paid a tenth of a penny every time I smiled at another human being? That might change my behavior. It might change your behavior. It might change everybody's behavior. You could nudge. I mean, this is kind of a good version of the Chinese social credit system. You could optimize good behavior and good deeds, either with straightforward payment or with something else, or access to certain things. That could be done, and that would be pretty good.
Our guest, Gry Hasselbalch, a renowned expert in technology ethics, shared her insights on why machines are often compared to actors or even politicians in their ability to imitate emotions. Gry discusses historical examples, like Nixon's infamous display of tears, to illustrate how society has always distinguished between genuine and manipulated emotions. Let's listen to Gry as she explores the intriguing concept of machines imitating emotions and what it means for our future.
I actually wonder why we're still in the public debate having these debates about machines with emotions, because it's very clear that what they're doing is that they're doing the same thing as an actor is doing. Or a dishonest politician. You would say, if it is a politician, there has been times in history, and I'm using them in my book also with for example, Nixon, that was showing after the Watergate was showing, that he almost got tears in his eyes. It was considered very dishonest because those were not his real emotions. That's what people say. They distinguish between real and manipulated emotions. No. So we've always done that in history. So I don't understand actually why we're talking about machines with emotions. Machines are imitating emotions, and that's what they're really excellent at.
Stephen Klein, an entrepreneur and founder of Curiouser.ai, shared his profound insights on the power of imagination. Stephen, inspired by Lewis Carroll's words, believes that imagination is the only weapon in the war against reality. He discusses how his large language model AI, Alice, is designed to encourage curiosity and push the boundaries of human potential.
And so Alice, our AI, inspired by Alice in Wonderland, because Lewis Carroll said something I thought profound, which is that imagination is the only weapon in the war against reality. I too am a philosopher at war with reality. We educated our AI to be curious, to ask questions, to help slow you down, not speed you up, to try and enable you to push the boundaries of your own limits so that we could make people better, we could elevate humanity, and we could create jobs. And so that is the essential essence of our philosophy. The first is that every innovation that has ever manifested itself within the history of humanity always started in the imagination of one person. There's no exception. Everything started in the imagination of one person. And so human imagination is always going to be that special asset that makes us distinct from the machine. That isn't going to change anytime soon.
We had the pleasure of speaking with Michael J. Ogier of the Journalism Cloud Alliance, a renowned advocate for digital rights and media literacy. Michael shared his thought-provoking views on the role of AI in our society, comparing it to fire, a tool that can be used for both good and bad. He emphasized the importance of skepticism towards AI technologies, urging us to rely on fact-checked and independent journalism to create a more trusted world.
I think AI is often touted as any other kind of technology, like fire. Fire is a technology. It can be used for good. It can be used for bad. It can cook our food. It can burn down our house. A group of technologies, but I don't really think that AI is inherently neutral. AI is built by people. People are inherently flawed. We have to be incredibly skeptical of these technologies that are being sold to us and packaged to us as the solution to all of our problems and the vision for the future. Let's just take a step back, see what we're doing, and also focus on where we know we can get good information from fact-check journalism, independent journalism, from the people who spend and dedicate their whole lives to getting good information out there, whether it's, and so I would say let's just think about how we can contribute to creating a more trusted world out there in our day-to-day.
David Weitzner, a business professor and spiritual practitioner, shared his thoughts on the intersection of business ethics and spirituality, expressing concern over how some individuals misuse business and spiritual practices, leading to skepticism and cynicism. He emphasized the importance of seeking genuine spiritual guidance rather than turning to figures like Elon Musk for fulfillment.
I have no doubt that that's the case. I have no doubt that that's what they're interested in. And it's the easiest hustle. And again, it's what makes me sad, because it comes back to what we just talked about, right? I'm a business professor, but I worry about people who use business and give it a bad name. It's the same idea here. I am a spiritual practitioner. I am a religious person. And nothing to me is more beautiful than a religious or spiritual tradition. And many folks have become skeptical and cynical because of the bad behavior of some spiritual and religious individuals. And so now they're turning to have that religious and spiritual need filled by folks who they think are more reliable. And they're not more reliable. You know, Elon Musk, for all his virtues and vices, is not more reliable than a spiritual practitioner. He's not the person you should be going to fill that need. And I worry deeply about this, because it's so easy to play the godlike game right now. It's so easy, as people are ignorant about the technology, to see wonder there and just be overwhelmed.
And in our very first episode, we had the privilege of speaking with Douglas Rushkoff, a renowned media theorist and author, ranked by MIT as one of the top 10 intellectuals in the world today. In this episode, Douglas delves into the concept of effective altruism and the ethical implications for AI development. He challenges us to consider the future of humanity and the role of technology in shaping it.
In their religion, most human beings are still in the larval stage. We are like maggots living on a piece of dung. And they, the special, very wealthy, technologically adept minority, are going to sprout their wings and get off the planet, or up their mind, or become robots. So they need to build AI in order to iterate the solutions that will allow those few people to get off and then replicate out there in the cosmos. And to them, it is ethical. It is highly ethical. It's called effective altruism. And they found crazy Oxford philosopher who's happy to get wealthy by feeding their psychosis, who says that it's more ethical to consider the trillions of post-human artificial intelligences that will be spread out through the cosmos, that they're so many more of them, that if 8 billion of us suffer and die today, it's so small in comparison to the greater joy of the trillions of post-human intelligences.
I hope you've enjoyed ChatRog so far. Please keep joining us every week for more fascinating guests exploring the model side of this cutting-edge technology, as we discuss not only what AI can do, but what it should be doing.